You might want to buckle up, baby.
And now get ready for WTF.
You want to prove once for all that I'm better than you? Strap up.
Bring it on, Big Brother Tim, man.
Whose take is first? Brought to you by TireOutlet.com. Wholesale prices, premium service.
Oh, yeah! I got a little fired up today. And by the way, that's, I had to work extra last night. I worked late, so.
You're grinding,
What time did you get home?
1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's a long night.
That's a little long. I was so hot.
But you're back here like a champion.
Did you shower at the TV station?
No, I naturally just drip dried.
Okay. Well done.
He
I just wrung myself
yeah, he
out.
wrung out his chest hair.
That's what I did.
Yeah, that would make a hell of a perm.
It was a very, let me put it this way. If I wasn't wearing an undershirt last night, it would have been on.
Hick, what about
it would have been up there with the broadcast news moments.
Hey, Hick, what about the old days when I didn't have two dimes to run together and I had to ride that red car into the ground and I love that red car. And I had no AC though, remember?
Oh man.
And I would show up everywhere in the dead of summer just like in TV uniform. It's just a sopping, soaking mess.
Yeah.
Damn you, TV. You didn't pay a nickel, man. I couldn't afford to get my daggum AC fixed.
AC fixed.
Middle of summer.
Hot.
It's hot, dude.
I would bet Doc Kevin Murphy's is already fixed.
It is hot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
His AC.
Doc probably right now compared to what net worth compared to me then was probably like 8 zillion times.
Ooh, wow.
Oof, that's a lot.
What do you got there, Beefer?
First and foremost, we encourage the Googans to hit up the text line on 641-1010, the text line driven by Duval Ford, with their takes during WTF. We'll pick one winner. You'll get a floral delivery from Kuhn Flowers and some free airport parking from usapark.net. Obviously, last night, preseason game number 1. Don't really care about the final score. It's more the observation. So, I don't know if you can pinpoint one thing you really like, maybe one thing you weren't as high on from preseason game number 1. Not to overanalyze, but it's what we do.
It's what we do. It's who we are. It's where we're from. And listen, everybody will focus in on that 15-play, 80-yard drive, and we should. That's what it was all about. I noticed that the Saints had their touchdown drive after the Jags took out their first-team defense. So, nonetheless, I just thought when you don't have Norwell, you don't have Parnell, yet you're 3 of 3 on third downs. You got a great play by Bortles. You got him running one in. You do all that. You can't feel any better as an offensive unit. You got young receivers running around on the field, getting some separation, getting open. You're using Dede Westbrook, who you remember last year led the NFL in preseason in reception. So then he got hurt, and he ended up, I think, with like 27 catches on the year. He played half the season. But he looks like that was a great catch on the sideline on that first drive. He caught that ball.
It was out of bounds.
But, well, I think his elbow hit right before one of the foot came down.
I think
so
his feet
they
may
didn't
also
challenge
come
it.
up off the ground.
If it was late in the game, it might have been worth a challenge. But did we see one flag last night, by the way, with the lowering of the head?
No, we didn't.
Not a one.
No, I liked that. And
Yeah.
I like the fact that there were no, at least as we know of now, no game-caused injury. That's also a win. There was injuries before the game.
Yeah, Blair Brown left with a concussion.
Yeah, okay.
And was being evaluated,
All
but
right.
that was the only one.
Yeah, I mean, so
that was the only one.
That's what you want to do right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder, Dan, if we're not going to get to a point where preseason game 2 becomes the one. I mean, I don't want to play my guys. I've seen enough. Just keep. If you can practice for 2 weeks in camp.
I'm good with Leonard. You could sit
I'm good with
Leonard
all-
down
I'm good
until
with
the
Blake.
starting line.
Sit them all. Why take a chance? Although Blake is pretty, he's a pretty safe bet out there. He doesn't seem to get injured. So yeah. But to me, the overall thing was definitely. I mean, I don't know how you could really. You're looking for another answer if it's not the first team
drive.
offense
Yeah.
getting the ball and just methodically going down the field. They're gonna dink and dunk you.
That's fine.
Right. But they also, you saw them take a couple shots
They took some
downfield.
shots.
And Blake can certainly escape and even
I said this.
run you to some success.
I said this last night, and I think this is going to go under until they figure it out. I think we may have, and I don't know how you prove it, but I think we have one of the faster offenses in the league.
Well, there's a lot of speed
There
out
is
there.
a lot
sure.
of speed
Dede
out
and
there.
Fournette and Grant.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And Corey Grant had a nice night. And
Yeah.
you can tell that.
Although, as a run, he's got to be a change-up guy. He can't run the ball from the.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You can tell that he is going to be in the plans more.
Absolutely.
You can see that.
And they've been saying it since the
Yeah.
game, since the title game.
I talked to him last night in the locker room about that game, and he said, they want to call me a change of pace back. That's fine with me. I just,
Give me the ball some.
Yeah, he's worked
Let
on
me
getting
win.
out on the field. I give him he's not a big kid. He looks bigger on the field than he is. He's a small guy.
It's worked great for Darren Sproles, and he didn't just like year one be a star. You can work your way into a real.
He was
nice
the one
role.
who had the move on that backup linebacker, right? Yeah, he cut the ball out here.
Yeah, left him,
and he
broke
went
his
one
ankles.
and oh, that was beautiful.
Yeah, that was good play. Now
it wasn't as good as Orndorff's.
Scott
listen,
Orndorff.
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 I told
listen,
Beef it's almost unfair. You can't cover Orndorff. He shouldn't be able to play in the preseason. It's not fair to the Saints.
Congratulations, Orndorff. I have been. This is always funny to me. I've been to a lot of practices. More practices this year than because Brent was on vacation, and I joke about it. But I've been to more practices this year than I've been in years. And if you're counting at home, it's 8, by the way. And I see Orndorff. What's his name?
Yeah, Orndorff.
Yeah, I seen Orndorff make a move and score, and I'm like, I honest to God, had never heard of him. And when we were on the field, the offensive linemen were behind us doing warm-ups while we were doing our special, so they were right behind us. And I was looking at nameplates there, and I was like, don't know him.
Yeah.
Don't know him. There are guys on this team, but there's 90 of them, so there's so many.
Yeah.
But there's some guys I have no idea.
Do you remember Zach Conk, the tight end?
No.
Nope.
Okay, so that's what the Jaguars waived in order to get Scott Orndorff.
well, you
and
did.
that's the
Good
only
move.
reason I knew that is
Yeah.
because of doing daily updates.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
You have to be a hell of a prospect to take Conk's spot on the roster. So, I mean, I think we learned
Conk's
a couple
new
things last
groove.
night.
Yes.
Orndorff is uncoverable. We have the new Gronk.
Yes.
Even though it's the same number.
Correct.
And Conk will be scooped up by somebody and be making plays week 1.
And Conk will go down as a trivia question when Orndorff continues his quest to go to Canton. So
Don't you think this whole training camp has
You've been conked.
you've been conked. Orndorff.
Conk is like the dude that
Isn't there a wrestler named Orndorff?
Yeah, Paul Orndorff
Yes.
back in the day.
Any-
Mr.
any
Mr.
relation?
Wonderful.
I
doubt
don't know.
is actually the same
Paul
guy.
Orndorff, I'm pretty sure, was
Might be the
related.
same guy.
I'm pretty sure Paul Orndorff was related to
Uh-huh.
the girl we worked with in Gainesville, went to Florida, Kathy Orndorff.
Oh,
No kidding. I think it was her uncle.
okay.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Bringing that to the table today.
Very nice.
In addition to the game,
Yes.
last night there were a couple of things that had people talking that were not game issues. One, the debut of the paperless ticketing, and 2, the decision by 4 of pretty big names on the team to remain in the tunnel last night during the national anthem.
Well, I haven't heard any bad stories about the paperless ticketing, but let's talk about the anthem here and get it out of the way and do it. And what happened was you didn't notice it because there's 86 guys out there, but it was Telvin, Jalen, Leonard, and T.J. Yeldon were the 4 who chose not to come out. Now in the locker room afterwards, Jalen didn't show, so I don't, T.J. wasn't talking about it. Telvin discussed it. Do you have his quote, Lauren?
I do.
I do. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
we have it. He didn't really.
Just read his quote.
Didn't offer an explanation, though.
And again, it's I don't know. We all have our different opinions about this, and we all have our own feelings. You're not changing anybody's mind on it, so it's like another hot topic issue.
It is. Listen, it is this. It does cast a shadow over the fun of the experience. And the one thing that sports does is it brings us all together. FSU fan and Florida fan,
Right.
Democrat, Republican,
Right.
churchgoer, non-church, white, black, straight, gay,
Right.
brings them all together and they're all on the same team.
Right.
And it's for that brief escape for 3 hours. You're not worried about presidential press conferences
Right.
or anything else.
Right.
And so that to me is what becomes disappointing about it. It does take away from the unity of the crowd, and because it's not 68,000 in the crowd against 4 who stayed in.
Right.
There are those plenty who understand aspects and angles
Sure.
of what the players are doing, but what it's doing is it's taking our escape and it's bringing in all this other stuff that we're tired of hearing about already.
Right.
That to me is the misgiving.
Because Telvin's really the only one who talked about it. And what did he say?
Nothing.
He said, as a man, I've got certain beliefs, but this is not going to become a distraction in Jacksonville. This is not going to become a distraction for this team. I've got beliefs. I did what I did. I don't know if it's going to be every week. Can't answer if it's going to be every week. But as a man, I've got to stand for something I love. My
Doesn't
team
say
is
anything.
dedicated.
That's another problem.
That's my bigger my
What
only-
is your belief?
And I will
then?
say this now, Telvin Is active. He's in the communities. He
Leonard
goes
is
home
active.
and does stuff. Leonard does stuff at his hometown. I don't know what the other two do. I go back to this. I would much rather, like Kenny Stills, from what I understand, is very proactive in the off season. Malcolm Jenkins, we talked about, very proactive.
But Kenny Stills, even the guy you mentioned, when asked last night, well, when will you come back? Well, when Kaepernick and Reed have jobs. So now when did that become the focal point of the anthem protest?
Is Reed out of the league?
Yeah.
Still? He didn't get signed? Yeah, that's a hard one you can't defend that. And Kaepernick at the point when he's like, I don't think Kaepernick's ever going to play again, but when he wasn't playing, when this
he
first
was good enough
started,
to be on a team.
You would have thought he would have been on a team. But with all that said, we've been down this road a bunch of times. I guess at this point, for me and what way I see it, I would say, well, at least they stayed in the locker room as opposed to come out for the anthem.
I said this earlier in the 6, and I'm to the point now. I am relinquishing all opinion on this story. We can factually talk about which players stayed in, which they didn't. You said it perfect. This is like trying to get a lifetime FSU fan that went to Florida, a lifetime FSU fan that went to FSU, to sit down with a lifetime fan from Florida who went to Florida, and have them convince the other one that they really should be on their team.
Right.
It's just that's not going to happen.
Right.
And tangibly, here's an idea. Everyone out there in their daily life, when you leave here today, treat other people with kindness and respect.
Yeah, do something nice for somebody.
And there won't be any need for any protests.
Correct.
This is the drill. It's an All-American Friday. I want to get some of the other. There was some cool stuff happening in the NFL last night. As preseason debut. And you are hitting on the perfect example of what I'm in. Yeah, that's perfect. You're going to lose.
Make the move, Hugh.
You're going to
Make Danny Rich.
You're going to lose it down. And you sum up to me what's funny about the preseason.
Make Danny Rich.
That perfectly sums up my angle.
New life on the bet.
Yeah, the bet's out.
Will you also be forced to buy a Winnebago when you win the bet?
No, he's doing a week on the Kismet.
This is a drill. It's an All-American Friday brought to you by All-American Roll-Off and Recycling, now serving St. Johns County, a J.B. Coxwell company, so you know it's good.
The Drill on 1010XL. From the studios of Republic Services, we'll handle it from here.
I think it's time.
Football season is here.